It began on a cold November night in Ashford, Ohio, a small college town where nothing ever seemed out of the ordinary. Jason Miller, a 21-year-old college junior, left the gym around 9:40 p.m. after a late-night basketball practice. He sent a quick text to his roommate, "Be home in 15." But Jason never came home. By morning, friends raised the alarm, and soon the entire community was consumed by fear. Jason was the kind of young man parents wanted their kids to be. Smart, polite, hardworking, he was studying engineering, juggling part-time work, and staying active in sports. He was close with his family and had no history of trouble. To his professors, he was dependable. To his friends, he was loyal. That's why his sudden disappearance didn't make sense. Jason wasn't the type to vanish. If something happened to him, it had to be foul play. 2 days later, police found Jason's car abandoned on a dark, rural road 5 miles outside town. Inside were his backpack and wallet, but his phone and keys were missing. There were no signs of a struggle, no broken glass, no blood. It looked staged, too neat for a random attack. At first, investigators considered robbery or a carjacking. But then they reviewed campus surveillance footage. Jason hadn't left the gym alone. He was walking beside someone in a dark hoodie. The mystery man was quickly identified, Jason's roommate and best friend, Evan Brooks. Evan told police they had split ways after leaving the gym. Jason supposedly drove off alone. But Evan's story didn't line up with the timeline on his phone. Still, detectives couldn't pin the crime on him just yet. Other theories emerged. A drifter was seen near campus. A jealous ex-girlfriend of Jason's. Even a professor he'd clashed with. But the real break would come from Jason's laptop. On his computer, police found encrypted messages and financial ledgers. Jason had been selling study drugs, Adderall and Ritalin, around campus. It wasn't a violent crime, but it was risky. And the deeper investigators dug, the clearer it became. Jason's partner in the side hustle was none other than Evan Brooks. Tensions had been rising. Jason had threatened to quit. Text showed him accusing Evan of taking money. The two were fighting just days before Jason went missing. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. Jason's disappearance wasn't the work of a stranger. It was closer to home. 3 weeks later, hikers stumbled upon a shallow grave in the woods near Ashford. Inside was Jason's body. The autopsy revealed blunt force trauma to the head. Near the grave, detectives recovered a metal baseball bat, blood-stained and wrapped in tape. The bat matched one found in Evan's dorm room. Forensics confirmed the blood was Jason's. Evan could no longer hide. Confronted with the evidence, Evan confessed. On the night Jason vanished, they argued in the car about missing money from their drug sales. Jason threatened to go public, expose Evan, ruin both of their futures. Evan panicked. He grabbed the bat, struck Jason, and killed him. Then he buried his best friend in the woods. The boy Jason trusted most, the one he texted before disappearing, was the same one who ended his life. In court, the betrayal was unbearable. Jason's family sat feet away from the young man they'd once welcomed into their home. Evan Brooks pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison. The trial gave closure, but it didn't ease the heartbreak. The disappearance of Jason Miller began as a mystery that seemed like random violence. But the truth was far worse. He wasn't killed by a stranger, but by his closest friend. Today, Jason's name lives on through a scholarship fund for engineering students. His story is a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest danger comes not from outside, but from within the people we trust most.